Hi, I'm Walt and this is Delta Astrophotography, but it is the month of July and the heat is oppressive and dangerous here in the Mississippi Delta. We can't even catch a break from it at night. So I've decided to escape to higher elevations, and what better a place to do that than the state of Colorado? I'm gonna go up there and try to take some Milky Way nightscapes, and I want you to come along with me. So join us in today's episode of Help! Besides escaping the god-awful heat, another reason I'm going out to Colorado to shoot is because the company Move Shoot Move has recently sent me their newest star tracker, the Nomad, for review. Now, I will not be reviewing that in this video. I'll just be trying it out for the first time, and if things go well, I'll include footage and photos from this trip in the review. Check this out. This tiny thing is a star tracker. Compare that to my last star tracker that I have been using. This is perfect for the backcountry hiking and camping that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be trying to keep my pack as light as possible, and this tiny star tracker really is going to help out with that. Of course, once again, I'll be taking my Canon 6D with the Rokinon 24mm f1.4 lens, and I bought a new Manfrotto tripod to take with me. This is a lot smaller and easier to carry around than that big beast of a tripod I have been using. This big beast of a thing. This is way too big and heavy to be backpacking in the Rocky Mountains. So that really wraps it up for gear. I'm gonna take my old star tracker and some backup cameras just in case anything goes wrong, but if all goes well, I'll just be using that very small, simple setup, and I can't wait to see if it works. This is not looking good. I think we picked a really good week to get out of the South and go to Colorado. See you there. All right, first stop, we are in the Great Sand Dunes National Park. And let me just say that these dunes are way bigger than I ever expected. You know, I'm thinking 10 feet high or something, but no, these are like small mountains. And it's gorgeous. It's surrounded by the beautiful Sangre de Cristo Mountains. And I can't wait to get back there and explore. So in order to stay overnight and camp in the dunes, you have to have a backcountry permit. It costs about $6, but I think they only allow 20 permits per night. You can have a few people in your group, but we got lucky and got one. So we're gonna set up camp and go explore the area. Well, that was quite an adventure. When they say sand gets in everything, they literally mean everything, and that includes my gear. I got sand in my camera that I used to make these videos, and it messed up the gimbal, and it only worked about half the time I turned it on, so man, this is bad. And mainly it's because of the wind. It's just constantly blowing and blowing sand into everything, and the sand is full of metal, so if you have anything magnetic, the sand sticks to your gear. That's, whew, this is a learning experience right here. But we made it out here. Man, these dunes are huge. They're like small mountains. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Let me just show you what the people behind me look like. Yeah, I'm already so high that my tent in the distance looks like a tiny dot. And those people up there, I'm not in good enough shape to walk that high in sand. But I made it to a good spot. I think I'm kind of hidden from the wind a little bit now, kind of down in a crater. And I've got a beautiful view of all these sand dunes and the mountains right back there. I've got the Move Shoot Move ready to try out for the first time. And of course, I've got the Sky Guided Pro in the backpack just in case I can't get this thing to work like I wanted on the first night. All right, I'll see you when it gets dark. Whew! Last night, we were defeated by the elements. 20+ mile-an-hour gusts of wind blowing sand right in the eyes and the equipment. Got so much sand in camera bags and tool bags in my eyes and everything. It made it very impossible to shoot, and to add insult to injury, the clouds came out, even though it was predicted to be clear. So yeah, it was kind of a bust last night, but still, when the clouds weren't out, it was probably some of the darkest skies I've ever seen in my life. It even beat the Bisti Badlands. It was just unbelievably dark, but unfortunately the weather just hated us last night. So we're gonna get out of this sand. I don't want any more of my equipment to get destroyed. We're gonna move on to the next location. Not sure where that's gonna be yet, but it's not gonna be sandy. After we packed up our gear and started heading back to the car, we noticed very near our campsite a set of fresh bear tracks from the night before. Now this looks to be a small black bear, but still, one paw print was almost the size of my hand, and the claw indentation was almost the size of one of my fingers. This was a quite exciting addition to our day. All right, made it to site number 2. This is called South Crestone Lake Trailhead, and it's gonna be about a 4.5 mile hike up a mountain to a beautiful lake, and I think this is gonna make a great shot. But hiking up 2,000 feet to an elevation of probably 11,000 feet, I think it's gonna kill me. Let's see if I can get dead before I shoot this shot. All right, it's been one hell of a day, climbing up almost 3,000 feet. It's about 9:30 at night, and the good news is we're almost there finally. The bad news is we still have 800 more feet to climb, and we're just too exhausted to get there. Can't make it. I'm about to die. So we're going to go ahead and go to bed. But the good news is we've decided not to go back tomorrow. Hopefully, anyway. We're going to see if we can find some water and stuff around here and stay one more day, because this is worth seeing, I think. I've seen it in stories. So we're just going to go ahead and go to bed now and get up really early and get our stuff together. Well, good morning, or should I say afternoon. What you just saw is where we ended up camping last night. And well, we finally decided to get up and get on the road again, trying to make it up another 800 feet to get to this lake. And I just found something up here. We're over 11,000 feet that I just can't believe exists this high up on a mountain. And there's no words to describe it, so I'm just gonna show it to you myself. I'm gonna flip this camera around. That is something else. I just want to stay here all day. We got 0.4 miles to go, and that'll probably take us an hour. This is ridiculous way up here. All right, we're gonna get back to it. Wow, we finally made it, and this is absolutely worth it. Oh my God. All right, check this out. The Milky Way is going to be right back there. So right behind me, you see two mountains and kind of a space between, and that's where the Milky Way is going to be tonight, kind of around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I have a pretty small window to try to get the star tracker rolling on that. And then I can shoot a foreground later because that foreground's not going anywhere. I'm in no rush to start shooting that. So I'm going to start setting up the Move Shoot Move and try to polar align it using my phone, using an app called Polar Aligner Pro for Android. We're going to get that done before the sun even goes down. I left my polar alignment laser at home, so instead I'm using my phone. I press the phone flatly on top of the star tracker, open up the app Polar Aligner Pro and press Daytime Align. And now I just have to move my star tracker up, down, left and right to get the cross right in the middle of the center circle. Once that's done, I have pretty accurate polar alignment, and this is the technique I used all throughout my trip, allowing me up to 3-minute exposures on the stars. All right, it's a little after 9:30 and I'm just now being able to see the Milky Way just come into focus. It's taken a really long time to get dark out here. Yeah, I know that's kind of normal for the summertime, but is that a higher elevation thing too? It's crazy how long it's taken for me to see the Milky Way. I can see almost all the other constellations though. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and walk over to the camera, get the star tracker turned on and try to shoot the Milky Way before it goes back behind the mountains. All right, so got my ISO to about 1600. Using my manual lens and the aperture is f2.8. Got my intervalometer dialed in. Let's see what we're gonna do here. I doubt you can even see this, but it's dialed into a 2-minute exposure. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the Move Shoot Move on. Yeah, I wanted to make it sure I switched it to the northern hemisphere. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit go and see what a 2-minute exposure looks like. All right, let's check it out. There it is, right on the back of the camera, right there. Looks pretty good. There's a lot of detail in that. This Move Shoot Move is doing great. It's handling 2-shot exposures, no problem. I had to redo the polar alignment a few times, but once I got it down, man, this thing is really nailing it. All right, I'm gonna take about 8 or so of these sky exposures and then move on to my foreground. All right, so I just moved my camera down and took a 2-minute shot of the foreground. The only setting I changed was the aperture. I brought it to f 1.4. So let's take a look at that. The sky is a little blown out, but wow, that foreground is really well lit. This is incredible. All right, I'm going to take about 2 or 3 more of these, and then we're going to call it a night and go to bed. Well, it took 2.5 days to hike up and back down that mountain, but I think this is going to be my favorite photo. It was worth it, but after about halfway through day 2, we ran out of food, and that hike down completely destroyed me. So there's only one thing to do about it before we get to our next stop. Well, clearly I'm not going to be driving after those shenanigans. Thank God Kaylee's driving for me. All right, well, we're heading to our next spot, final spot, and I've never even heard of this place until recently. Can't wait to see you there. It's gonna be a fun little surprise. This area is called the Black Canyon of the Gunnison, and we're at the North Rim. This is a national dark site, and somewhere back there's a really big canyon. I'm gonna try to shoot the Milky Way right over the top of it tonight. Now this campsite is a lot less primitive than the ones I've been doing lately, and I'm very thankful because after that 2.5 day hike up and down a mountain, every bone and muscle in my body hurts. So I'm gonna sit around for a while, relax in the shade, and then we're gonna go out and explore the canyon and find a place to shoot. Good night. So this is literally less than 5 minutes from my tent. I cannot believe this. And that is south. It couldn't work out any better. And if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of the rolling river hundreds of feet below. So yeah, I'm gonna come back here tonight, just walk over here and set up the tripod. And this is gonna be my shot. All right, it's the final night of shooting, and this has been the most relaxed and easygoing night. I'm so grateful for this. The tent's just right over there. When we get done, we just go to bed. And I've really gotten to know the Move Shoot Move, and this was the easiest setup and polar alignment yet. This is becoming quickly my new favorite star tracker just because of how easy and portable it is. I'm just loving this. This has been the best trip, guys, and this photo shoot tonight I think is going to be one of my favorites as well, just because of how easy and fun it is. Can't wait to show you. So I'm going to get back to work. Well, as you can see, we made it home safe. Lots of truck stops and Lord of the Rings audiobooks. Now, before I get to showing you the pictures from the trip, I just want to give out a few special thanks and shout outs. First of all, to Move Shoot Move for sending me this amazing tiny little star tracker. This worked extremely well. Even though I forgot to bring the laser pointer to polar align, I was still able to polar align with my phone and get 2 to 3 minute exposures every night. I'm going to be experimenting with this a lot more in the next few weeks and making a full review and tutorial. So if you guys are into that, make sure you subscribe because that'll be coming out in the next few weeks. Another big shout out to Kaylee for coming along with me. Not very many people would hike up to 12,000 feet just for a photograph. And even when we were struggling to breathe and still had another 1,000 feet to climb, you never gave up. You're a true badass. Thank you so much. And finally, a big shout out and special thanks to my patrons on Patreon. You pretty much helped pay for the gas. And if anybody wants to support this channel, support trips like this, reviews and anything, and want to become a patron, I'll leave a link in the description below. On our Discord server, we're going to start doing monthly challenges where we all try to photograph the same thing and compare and just see what we can do. And I think we're going to start in August with the Andromeda Galaxy. So yeah, come check us out on Patreon. Well, that about wraps it up. Let me know what you think of the final photos in the comments below. I'm gonna be spending the next 2 or 3 days getting sand out of all my gear, so wish me luck. Can't wait to see you in the next one, and as always, stay spacey. Watch out for snakes, clear skies. See you next time.